Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew, and what I have for you today is solo overnight survival with a Canteen Cup survival kit. Stand by. Alright, so our Canteen Cup survival kit, or as I like to think of it, a military bush pot. We can take just our Canteen Cup. In this case, this is a BCB Crusader British Army style Canteen Cup, which is slightly larger than the American version, and it has a lid. But we take our survival items, place it inside for a compact kit ready to go. Now we've got all the usual suspects in our survival kit, but we have upgraded a few items to include in this kit, and we're going to demonstrate some skills with those items during this video. Now, a few of our items that we're going to emphasize, that first one being our headlamp. We have a small compact headlamp with all the same functions as a larger headlamp that can fit inside our kit. Slingshot band and some zip ties for an improvised hunting weapon. A commando saw, this time a chainsaw, better model. And then we have Typhoon matches. These matches are the largest I've seen, and we're going to use those to get our fire going this evening. And then we have our Mylar blanket. This is a Swiss brand, and what I like about this is that we have orange on one side, green on the other, so we can use it for a shelter to reflect heat, but then we can also use it as a signal. We have our food ration to complete our meal, or our emergency meal for this evening, and then our BCB Crusader cup for a container. Now, commando saws, you guys have seen me use commando saws before, and they're trusty and useful if you know how to use them. We have a better model for this video, and that is the commando chain saw with handles, and we can use this to saw down material and process material for our fire or shelter. We can also create toggles using 550 cord and some pieces of material to increase the length and distance away from a piece of material we're going to chop down if we don't know how that tree is going to fall. Moving on to our shelter, we're going to need to improvise from materials around the area to give us a good shelter to survive the night. Now, it's not going to get too cold. It's going to be about 40 degrees tonight, but we're going to need something to insulate us from the forest floor, as well as trap any body heat and act as a reflector as well. So we're going to cut green leafy material from the surrounding area that's standing still and use that as our bedding. We want 4 inches of compressed debris on the forest floor to insulate us and prevent losing body heat through conduction to the forest floor. And once we've got our bedding, we test it, compress it to make sure it's good to go. We can start working on our roof. We're going to take that Mylar blanket out using simple anchor points with our 550 cord from our kit. We're going to stake out all 4 corners and give us a lean-to shelter. That way we can reflect our body heat as well as the heat from the fire to keep us warm in our shelter. Once we have all that up, we test it, make sure it's good to go, and then fix any tie-down points or anchor points as necessary to make sure our shelter is going to stand up straight and last the night. Now, we don't have a shovel, but we can still dig a fire pit. We could use a dig stick, but in this case, we're going to use our BCB Crusader Canteen Cup because it is large and in charge. We can use it to dig into the soft earth in this area to create our long fire pit. Once we're done digging, we just go down to the creek and clean our Canteen Cup out, good as new. I brought out a little treat for you guys, and that is a Henry survival rifle. Recently picked this up, and you've probably seen them in other videos and reviews, but I really like this rifle. We're going to test it out and attempt to go hunting this evening for some rabbits since rabbit season is open. But all we have to do is take off the butt plate and all the components for the rifle are inside. We assemble the receiver and then the barrel. We have our magazines. Once we can lock and load, and then once we're done, we put the butt plate back on, and our rifle is good to go. Same stuff, different day. Fire lay, too easy. We've got our same materials. We've got our kindling, our tinder, and our fuel. We're creating a V fire lay with a platform using these logs that were on the forest floor. We create that V with our kindling, lay our fuel on top, and then we can use some dry material along with our multi-tool or our knife, create some shavings to act as our tinder, and we place that right in the center of that V. Now, these Typhoon matches are absolutely huge, and I really want to try one out. But beforehand, we're going to need to apply the striker for the match onto a flat, smooth surface to give us a little bit more friction as we attempt to light this match because it's so big. So, took out the survival mirror because it's flat, cut off a portion of the striker that we don't need, and then applied the sticky side of the striker to the back of the signal mirror. And now we are ready to light. With this style kit containing everything inside of our Canteen Cup, or our military bush pot, if you will, one of the most difficult things or tedious things is just constantly going down to the creek and back to fill up on water. But once we have our water, we just put in our Canteen Cup, and the creek water, while it looks brown, comes out relatively clear. We can put that cup over the fire, bring it to a boil to make it safe to drink, and then we can add our drink packets or whatever we brought with us for our emergency ration to get us a hot drink or some food and sit back and enjoy and rehydrate. One item that's in our emergency food rations kit is soup mixes, or in this case just leftover packets from our ramen noodles. Similar to beef bouillon cubes or chicken bouillon cubes, in nutrients is going to be marginal, but there's a lot of sodium, good for survival and retaining water, plus having something hot to drink can really lift the spirits. Inside of our emergency food ration kit is a meal replacement bar, approximately 400 calories, with all the fats and protein and nutrients that we need to survive a night. Plus we have drink mixes, tea, coffee, sugar, and creamer to go with that, a few candies, and then some hot cocoa to complete our emergency food rations kit. Signaling at nighttime is incredibly important. We also need to be able to see what we're doing at nighttime or in hours of limited visibility. So having an emergency headlamp with all the same functions as a larger headlamp is good to have. Like this E-light, we still have a high beam, low beam, and white setting. We've got the strobe in white, the strobe in red, and then we also have a solid red beam. We can lock this headlamp, and this is important for survival. When the weather starts turning cold or we're in colder climates, we need to have something to eat or something hot to drink to consume right before we go to bed. The reason being is that if we have some calories in our stomach, our body will burn those and keep us warm. And if we have something hot to drink, we can stay a little bit warmer inside our emergency shelter. In this case, we're going to have cocoa. Drink some of that cocoa and stay warm through the night. Now for our fire tonight, we are going to create a long fire. We already have our fire going, and now all we need to do is gather up the firewood we have available or collected already and simply add that to our fire. We're going to extend our fire out, so we lay the fire material lengthwise in our trench to complete our long fire. Good morning. All right, this is a 2 coffee morning. I got up early to go attempt to hunt some game with our survival rifle, and there just aren't any rabbits out or any available. I must be in a running gun battle with the cats around the area on the farm, hunting rabbits out here, and I think they're winning right now. But we're going to have some coffee, get energized, get up, and move on to our next survival task and demonstrate some signaling techniques. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Mylar blanket we have is dual coated in color. One side is orange, the other side is green. They both reflect the same amount of heat and work the same, so we can use either side of the Mylar blanket for shelter to keep us warm, and then use the orange side for signaling. We can just take our shelter now that we're complete with the night and we're up in the morning at first light and hang that orange panel up in a clearing or area where it can be seen by search and rescue. And then we can use our mirror and our whistle to signal with that panel in active signals, flashing our mirror or blowing on our whistle. What we can also do, since our bedding is still green leafy material, take our bedding, throw it right on our fire to create an emergency smoke signal that can break through the trees and help us signal for rescue. Alright guys, that does it for this video. A low down and dirty survival video with our Canteen Cup survival kit and our survival rifle. I hope you really liked this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for the thing you do for me, for this channel, for all your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys.